Hello. Today we are going to explore the new kid on the block in property investing. I'm going to explore the weather, if you like. I'm going to go through the kind of core principles that I need you to know before investing in real estate in Africa or the Caribbean. And if you're already in the market, why your investment is not yielding the right return on investment. You know, the new kid on the block in real estate investing is short-term rentals, serviced accommodation, or Airbnb, which is the colloquial term we use for short-term rental. And I've been doing this for the last 8 years, and I started it using my own property in the UK. This is way back in 2015, and it took me 2 years to be able to get my tenants out of my properties for me to start the Airbnb business. And all my properties in the UK now are used for short-term rental. I then veered into Ghana because Ghana is where I come from. I've lived in the UK for over 3 decades, started family, career, business, everything there. So, you know, it's part of our thing for immigrants, you know, people in the diaspora who've left the Caribbean, who've left Asia, who've left Africa to stay in these countries, USA, Canada, UK, Europe, wherever, to build homes or buy homes in their home country. It's a kind of status thing that, look, you've come to Europe, you've come to the UK, you want to be able to show that you have done something. A lot of people too build these properties or buy these properties as retirement places so that when they eventually retire from where they reside, they'll go back to their home countries and stay there. Others also use that as a holiday home. They can go with their family and stay there. Other people also decide that, look, let me invest in these places because the returns can be good. All of that is well and good. But a lot of people living in the diaspora are sitting on gold mine. They are sitting on properties that could be generating them a lot of income, and yet they're not aware of the science behind getting these properties to generate them income. Some have taken loans, some have worked day night. Particularly, I know nurses amass money, saving money just so they can go and complete the property they are building back home. Or they have got a payment plan for apartments or properties they are buying, 3, 4, 5 bedroom houses that they have this dream of going to with their families. Hello. If you are one of those people, and I am one, and you think that the children you have brought up in these countries that you live in, they are ever going to go and live in your property in Africa, I can tell you that it is not going to happen. You and I was raised, brought up, schooled, educated, finished my business degree in Ghana before I immigrated to the UK over 3 decades ago. Even I haven't come back to settle. Do you think the children I have brought up in the UK, they're going to come and settle here? I'll be deceiving myself. So the property I bought or built in Ghana, who is it for when I'm no longer on this earth? So it is about time that people like myself in the diaspora, whether you're African, whether you're Caribbean, whether you're Asian, if you have got those investment assets in your home country, we're going to talk about how you're going to monetize these properties, how you're going to use those properties to become an income generating asset for you, so that while you are alive, while you haven't moved line, hook and sinker to your home country, the property, the mansion you've built, while you haven't moved there, you can start generating money from that property and live your comfortable lifestyle. Whenever you go visit your home country, you can't go and enjoy yourself. If you haven't, the property is making money for you. And then your children can also start going to that property on holidays. And if they are not, at least their mom or dad or, you know, bank of mom and dad is making money for them. That is exactly what we're going to discuss today. And so the premise to this video is about the markets that we are talking about. We're talking about Africa and Caribbean. And I hesitate to add that 10 years ago, if you told me that I was going to be one of the cheerleaders of property investment in Ghana, my home country, I would tell you you'd be lying. Because I have been in real estate for a long time in the UK, and I built my property portfolio for some time, and within a short period, I was in double digits. And I ran this for a long time. And so you coming to Ghana was not attractive. The equity, the yield, and all that the UK property market provided me was enough for me. And Ghana was the least places I wanted to think about. But cut short, 6-7 years later, post 2008-10, obviously, and everything starting to go pear-shaped in the UK in terms of real estate market, and buy-to-let investing becoming less attractive, the laws, the taxes, and all of the issues, the banks, everything became convoluted. So it wasn't straightforward investing in buy-to-let, in the UK anymore. So all you looked at was the equity growth. Of course, the equity is still good, but the challenge is the stress you go through investing in real estate, particularly in UK, where I know very well, in buy-to-let. The stress you go through, you'll be lucky to stay alive to enjoy the equity growth that comes into it. That is why I turned my back to the UK property investing. And right now, if you gave me £1 million property for free as a buy-to-let investment in UK, I'll say thank you very much. I'll buy you a glass of beer and say enjoy. I don't want that. I'd rather invest in Ghana, where I know the market very well. And if you are not from Ghana, you're from another country in Africa or the Caribbean, I would encourage you to invest in your home country. That is where the yields are. So we're going to talk about the things you need to do to study the market. So first of all, principle number one, if you have a holiday home, you've bought a property, you've built, you're buying, whatever, and you want to turn it into a asset, income generating asset, the first core principle is this: who is going to be your guest? In digital marketing, we've got something called avatar. Avatar is your typical guest who is going to come into your property. If it's a two-bed apartment, you know that you can have a family or a single unit couple. They might even want to have that. If it's a one-bed apartment, you know it's going to be one single traveler, solo traveler, business traveler, or a couple. So depending on the accommodation you have, you need to define who your guest is going to be. That is core principle number one. Core principle number two is, where are your avatar, your ideal guest coming from? If your property is located somewhere in the center of city, where they say location. So if your property is located in the center of city, where it has access to roads, access to electricity, access to happening things, nightlife, then you are bang in the middle of a good location. And so you will want to know who are the ones who are coming to that place, and where are they going to come from? Are they going to come from the USA? Are they going to come from Canada? Are they coming from abroad? Are they coming from internal, the country, your own country, or other African countries? I can tell you that in my business in Ghana, the guests come from all over the world. And in fact, it's about 55% internal generated. People walk into my apartment and then they take the apartment. They book. They don't even go online to book. They walk in and my managers put them into these apartments when we are not full. So there is an internal generated customers who come there. Okay, where are they coming from? They can be coming from other cities. If you know Ghana very well, my properties are mostly in Accra, the capital. So people are coming from Tamale in the north, from Cape Coast, from Kumasi, the second capital, from Sunyani, and they're coming to Accra. Some are traveling, so they need places to stay before they travel. Others are coming to watch football games. Others are coming for events. So these are the people you need to attract to. My properties in the UK, again, we are close to one of the biggest exhibition centers in the UK called the London Excel. So I am just about 6-10 minutes walk away from London Excel. Most of my bookings, 90% of my bookings, my guests come for exhibitions and events at the Excel Center. And that is when they book 2-3 days. Those who do not come for exhibitions, they come for holidays and they book rather longer, maybe 4 nights or 7 nights or perhaps even a month if it is a corporate led. So the second point is, where are your people coming from? And so if you know where they're coming from, you can't even add additional value by providing transport, airport pickup and drop-offs for them, or even tour guides. You can organize that for them. That is point number 2. Point number 3 is, how do you find them? How do you find your guests? You know, a lot of people who have holiday homes and wanting to monetize it or use it for Airbnb, they just go up and do anything and list it on Airbnb. And the property sits there on Airbnb for yonks and no booking come through. Or they list it on other OTAs, overseas travel agencies like Booking.com, 𝐉𝐨𝐲, and they never get bookings. Why? Because there is a science to listing. And therefore, where do you find these people? You find them, where do your people congregate? You know, if you go to church, you find Christians. If you're looking for Muslims, you go to the mosques. If you're looking for the kind of people, families to visit your home, where do families congregate online? So you need to go to online places that families of people who come to your apartment or your home congregate. That's where you need to find them. So, well, the standard is to list your property and all the powerful, platforms like Airbnb, Booking.com, 𝐉𝐴, they used to call them HomeAway, Expedia, Google Rentals. You name them. You list them there. But a lot of people do so, and yet still their properties are empty. There is a science behind listing these properties, and that is exactly what I teach in my Airbnb masterclass for Africans in the Caribbean, so that you can, master how to use your property as an income generating asset. So where do you find these people? How do you list them? Where do you list them? That is core point number 3. Core point number 4 is the property itself. You know, you're looking to rent your property to people on a short-term basis. That means you're in competition with the local Airbnbs around, local hotels, and the local service accommodation around. So how is your property? Has it got a wow factor? You know, in Douglas Luxury Apartments, my Airbnb business in Ghana, I tell my staff, if we open the door to you or to a guest and the guest does not exclaim, wow, that means we haven't done our job. I want my guests to come in and say, wow. So we did a billboard and pasted all over the place in those who know Accra, from airport all the way to Douglas Court. And it says, say wow at Douglas Court. So if the guest comes and they don't say wow, then we haven't done our job. Is your property making the guests say wow? Or do they come and it's just a box standard, beds, pillows, the place is just accommodation? In order to woo guests to really come to your property and to make you have good reviews, which I'll come to, your property must be staged in a way that matches the standard of the person who is visiting it. If somebody is coming from the USA or somebody is coming from UK, Europe, they are used to a certain standard of life. Their living rooms, their bedrooms, their internet, their electricity, everything is spot on. The kitchen, design, everything. So you don't expect them to pay you top dollar if the accommodation you're providing is substandard. Nobody will pay you top dollar if your accommodation is substandard. So core point number 4 is how you stage your property. Now, this leads me to core point number 5. Core point number 5 is the guest experience. Because I wanted to learn about this business, and I must let you know that I have learned from the best in this business. And around 2008, I learned from guys like Brian Page. I learned from Eric Muller. I learned from Jasper, and a lot of these people. I paid top dollar for it. And I interviewed some of the best people in Airbnb in 2018. It is on my YouTube. You can go and look at it. It says Airbnb 101, and I interview a lot of people in there. It's for free. Go listen to them. They may be long, but yes, it's good. So core point number 5 is basically guest experience. What experience are you giving the guest? And I said, in 2018, I went to Barcelona, I traveled to Madrid, I was in Glasgow, I traveled to Germany. In fact, I was in Germany when Kofi Annan died, and I remember that very well. I traveled to a lot of countries. And I remember coming to Accra and staying in Airbnb. For all those my travels, I was staying in Airbnb because I wanted to find out the guest. I wanted to get the experience, that guest experience. I wanted to have the guest experience. And then I stayed in Airbnb somewhere in East Legon, and it was crap. In fact, the kitchen was falling apart. The guy lived in the USA and ran the business here in Ghana. The kitchen was falling apart. And then I went to Kumasi, the second capital of Ghana. And boy, for all my travels, Barcelona, Edinburgh, Germany, Berlin, Glasgow, you name them, Accra, all these capital places I had been in a short period of time. The best experience, the best place I had good guest experience was in Kumasi. And that place was popping. Everything, the kitchen, the carpets, the beds, the service was amazing. So I wrote an article about it. I said, running Airbnb is not about the city. It's not about the shiny objects. It's about guest experience. My experience at that place was the best. I could pay top dollar for that accommodation. And so I wrote an article about it. I will find the article and send you the link. So it's all about what guest experience. You know, guests coming to your place and today, boom, electricity, is off. And the next day, internet is erratic. I know it's not easy when you start. I had the problem. Douglas Luxury Apartments, we had the same problems. But you are able to listen to guests and quickly fix these things. Because if guests do not have a good experience, guaranteed, 2 things will happen. 1, they're going to give you a very bad review. And 2, they are never going to come back. Now, if they give you a bad review, then that is going to cost you your business. So I will come to reviews as the last point, which is the 7th point. So yes, you need to give your guests good guest experience. The 6th experience is your marketing and how you can get loyalty guests coming back, how to build loyalty brand. And, I have had guests, come from the UK and other countries, and they keep coming. In fact, I'll say 30% of the guests who book our apartments at Douglas Luxury Apartments are repeat guests. The same are those in the UK. They are all repeat guests because they have created a relationship with us and they know what to expect. And therefore, you need to be able to create that loyalty with your guests. And how do you do that? You do that, first of all, by giving them discounts. You also market to them Christmas. Wish your guests happy Christmas. Do things that will make your guests feel that they are part of it. Sometimes leaving you becomes difficult. Have you ever been in a relationship where, although you know this relationship is not good for you, but you just hesitate to leave it because you feel that the other party hasn't done anything wrong. You just want to move on, and yet you struggle to move on. There is that loyalty that is to those people. Exactly the same thing. Guests sometimes feel loyal to you if they have had a good experience with you. So create guest loyalty and market to them where you can find them. The last core principle is guest reviews. When guests come and you haven't staged your property well, they are going to get bad guest experience. And as I was saying, once they get bad guest experience and they have booked online, they will put their reviews online. Airbnb, booking.com, they will review you. And if they review, these days, it's an online business. Everybody, you go to Amazon, you want to buy a product, you have to look at the reviews. You go to a hotel, you want to book a hotel, you look at the hotel reviews. The same way, guests will review your hotel, your apartment. And if somebody is booking from the USA, Canada, or anywhere, and your property is in Nairobi, Kenya, your property is in St. Kitts, your property is in Kingston or Clarendon, and they have got bad reviews, guaranteed they will be looking for other places. If they can't find other places, they'll probably not book at all. So your guest reviews must be very good so that your other people can look at it. And that is how you market. You market through guest reviews. Marketing is not just throwing money away on Facebook and Google and trying to attract strangers to come to your place. Marketing is getting people good at guest experience. They give you good reviews and other people can buy into your your product, what you're selling. These are the core 37 core principles you need to look for when you want to monetize your property and turn it into an income generating asset. This is exactly what I do, teaching people in the diaspora, whether you're USA, Canada, wherever you live, African, Caribbeans, and Asians. If you're looking to turn your property in your home country or into an ATM cash machine, I have created a masterclass that does that for you. So just get in contact with us, click the links below, and you will be able to find exactly how I can help you turn your property in Africa or Caribbean into an ATM cash machine.